Hey everyone, welcome back to the Liberty Mundo channel. Today we're talking about an important financial topic that affects global economics and tax policy. The European Union has just updated its infamous tax haven blacklist, and there are some interesting developments to unpack. I'll break down what this means, who's affected, and why you should care about these decisions. Let's get started. The EU's tax haven blacklist has been around since 2017 and gets updated every 6 months. It identifies jurisdictions that don't meet EU standards in 3 key areas: tax transparency, tax fairness, and implementation of international standards to prevent base erosion or profit shifting. Essentially, the EU is targeting countries that enable tax avoidance or don't share enough tax information. Being on this list is a public statement that the EU considers these jurisdictions uncooperative in global efforts to combat tax evasion. As of February 2025, 11 jurisdictions remain on the EU's blacklist: Panama, Russia, American Samoa, Anguilla, Fiji, Guam, Palau, Samoa, Trinidad and Tobago, American Virgin Islands, and Vanuatu. Despite some positive developments, the EU Council stated that these jurisdictions do not yet fully cooperate on tax matters, and has invited them to improve their legal frameworks to address identified problems. You might be wondering what happens when a country lands on this blacklist. While there are no direct financial penalties from the EU, there are significant consequences. EU funds cannot pass through entities based in these jurisdictions. There may be more frequent and rigorous tax audits. There's reputational damage affecting investment and business relationships, and individual EU member states can impose additional penalties at the national level. For businesses and wealthy individuals using these jurisdictions for tax planning, this creates uncertainty and potential compliance headaches. Beyond the blacklist, the EU maintains a gray list of jurisdictions that don't fully comply with standards, but have committed to making changes. This update brought some movement. Costa Rica and Curaçao were removed after fulfilling their commitments to modify harmful tax regimes. Brunei Darussalam was added after committing to abolish its tax exemption on foreign-sourced income by the end of 2026. Other countries on this gray list include Antigua and Barbuda, Turkey, Vietnam, British Virgin Islands, Belize, Seychelles, and Eswatini. The gray list represents a middle ground, countries working toward compliance but not yet meeting all EU requirements. This system isn't without its critics. Organizations like Oxfam have expressed frustration with the slow pace of progress, stating, "We seem to be stuck in a cycle of no progress." Meanwhile, big companies and the ultra-rich continue to use tax havens to avoid punitive taxation. Critics argue that the criteria should be stricter and that the EU should blacklist any country that allows companies to pay minimal taxes or conceal their true ownership. There's also debate about whether some larger economies receive preferential treatment in these assessments. Looking ahead, this continued pressure from the EU reflects the global trend toward greater tax transparency and cooperation. For international businesses, this means increasing scrutiny of international tax structures, growing importance of substance in offshore operations, need for more sophisticated tax compliance strategies, and potential shifts in where companies establish operations. As global tax standards continue to evolve, we can expect more jurisdictions to reform their practices to avoid blacklisting. That wraps up our overview of the EU's tax haven blacklist in 2025. If you're involved in international business or investment and have questions about how these developments might affect your situation, reach out to our expert team at Liberty Mundo. We're here to help you navigate these complex regulations and minimize your taxes. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more updates on global finance and asset protection strategies. Drop your questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.